How the world was made. This is the ancient Filipino account of the creation. Thousands of years ago, there was no land, nor sun, nor moon, nor stars, and the world was only a great sea of water, above which stretched the sky. The water was the kingdom of the god Magyarwan, and the sky was ruled by the great god Kaptan. Magyarwan had a daughter called Lidagat, the sea, and Kaptan had a son known as Lihangin, the wind. The gods agreed to the marriage of their children, so the sea became the bride of the wind. 3 sons and a daughter were born to them. The sons were called Likalibutan, Liadlaw, and Libulan, and the daughter received the name of Lisuga. Likalibutan had a body of rock and was strong and brave. Liadlaw was formed of gold and was always happy. Libulan was made of copper and was weak and timid. And the beautiful Lisuga had a body of pure silver and was sweet and gentle. Their parents were very fond of them, and nothing was wanting to make them happy. After a time, Lihangin died and left the control of the wind to his eldest son, Likalibutan. The faithful wife, Lidagat, soon followed her husband, and the children, now grown up, were left without father or mother. However, their grandfathers, Kaptan and Magyarwan, took care of them and guarded them from all evil. After a time, Likalibutan, proud of his power over the winds, resolved to gain more power and asks his brothers to join him in an attack on Kaptan in the sky above. At first, they refused, but then Likalibutan became angry with them. The amiable Liadlaw, not wishing to offend his brother, agreed to help. Then together they induced the timid Libulan to join in the plan. When all was ready, the 3 brothers rushed at the sky, but they could not beat down the gates of steel that guarded the entrance. Then Likalibutan let loose the strongest winds and blew the bars in every direction. The brothers rushed into the opening, but were met by the angry god Kaptan. So terrible did he look that they turned and ran in terror. But Kaptan, furious at the destruction of his gates, sent 3 bolts of lightning after them. The first struck the copper Libulan and melted him into a ball. The second struck the golden Liadlaw, and he too was melted. The third bolt struck Likalibutan, and his rock body broke into many pieces and fell into the sky. So huge was he that parts of his body stuck out above the water and became what is known as land. In the meantime, the gentle Lisuga had missed her brothers and started to look for them. She went toward the sky, but as she approached the broken gates, Kaptan, blind with anger, struck her too with lightning, and her silver body broke into thousands of pieces. Kaptan then came down from the sky and tore the sea apart, calling on Magyarwan to come to him and accusing him of ordering the attack on the sky. Soon Magyarwan appeared and answered that he knew nothing of the plot, as he had been asleep far down in the sea. After a time, he succeeded in calming the angry Kaptan. Together, they wept at the loss of their grandchildren, especially the gentle and beautiful Lisuga. But with all their power, they could not restore the dead to life. However, they gave to each body a beautiful light that will shine forever. And so it was that golden Liadlaw became the sun and copper Libulan the moon. All the thousands of pieces of silver Lisuga shine as the stars of the heaven. To wicked Likalibutan, the gods gave no light, but resolved to make his body support a new race of people. So Kaptan gave Magyarwan a seed, and he planted it on the land, which, as you will remember, was part of Likalibutan's huge body. Soon a bamboo tree grew up, and from the hollow of one of its branches a man and a woman came out. The man's name was Sikalak, and the woman was called Sikabay. They were the parents of the human race. Their first child was a son, whom they called Libo. Afterwards, they had a daughter, who was known as Saman. Pandaguan was a younger son, and he had a son called Arion. Pandaguan was very clever and invented a trap to catch fish. The very first thing he caught was a huge shark. When he brought it to land, it looked so great and fierce that he thought it was surely a god, and he at once ordered his people to worship it. Soon all gathered around and began to sing and pray to the shark. Suddenly the sky and sea opened, and the gods came out and ordered Pandaguan to throw the shark back into the sea and to worship none but them. All were afraid except Pandaguan. He grew very bold and answered that the shark was as big as the gods, and that since he had been able to overpower it, he would also be able to conquer the gods. Then Kaptan, hearing this, struck Pandaguan with a small thunderbolt, for he didn't wish to kill him, but merely to teach him a lesson. Then he and Magyawen decided to punish these people by scattering them over the earth, as they carried some to one land and some to another. Many children were afterwards born, and thus the earth became inhabited in all parts. Pandaguan did not die. After lying on the ground for 30 days, he regained his strength, but his body was blackened from the lightning, and all his descendants ever since that day had been black. His first son, Aryan, was taken north, but as he had been born before his father's punishment, he did not lose his color, and all his people, therefore, are white. Libo and Saman were carried south, where the hot sun scorched their bodies and caused all their descendants to be of a brown color. A son of Saman and a daughter of Sikalak were carried east, where the land at first was lacking in food, that they were compelled to eat clay. On this account, their children and their children's children had always been yellow in color. And so the world came to be made and peopled. The sun and moon shine in the sky, and the beautiful stars light up the night. All over the land, on the body of the envious Likalibutan, the children of Sikalak and Sikabay have grown in great numbers. May they live forever in peace and brotherly love. The end.